So in this video I'm going to tell you how you can start your gardening business today on a budget. So I set up my gardening business at the start of last year. We're now into midsummer in year 2, and I'm just going to give my opinion really on how you can start and advice on how you can start your gardening business on a budget. Now we watch all these YouTube channels and they've all got the high-end gear. I'm just sort of maybe midway, a bit below midway. I'm working my way up. I started small, and I'm just constantly trying to improve, and that's the point of this video. You can get started and be up and running, be getting customers, getting jobs without having to spend a load of money. And once you get those customers, once you start earning money, that's when you can improve, buy better gear, and work your way up. So I'm going to cover what I class to be 3 of the major topics. So that is your equipment, your transport, and your advertising. So we're going to start with the equipment. Now, regular watchers of my channel will know that I started out with a 60-pound push mower, a Briggs & Stratton Champion mower, and it didn't let us down. It was great. It got us through all the first year, and it's now my spare. So these things that that you can buy may have to be second hand or cheaper new gear, but not commercial gear. This is all basically to literally start you off, to get you your first set of customers, to be getting regular work in, and then once you've done that, that's when you can go again and improve. And the gear that you bought to start out will become your spares. Because one of the biggest things when I started out, I wasn't sure, obviously, whether I was going to get any customers or not. I went to buy some second-hand gear, some new gear, and as soon as I was a couple of months in and I knew I was getting a lot of work, that's when I bought new stuff. So you can get started literally if you have a lawnmower, a strimmer, and I'd throw in a leaf blower. Now, as I say, I got mine, my push mower that is, for £60. Facebook Marketplace and eBay, there's loads of good gear getting sold on there. And if you can find some, someone who hasn't used their gear in a business or commercially, and they've just been using it at home, every now and again, and they've kept on top of it and looked after it, there's some really good stuff. So you don't have to spend a fortune. If you buy those 3 things, you can cut lawns, you can do garden tidies, strim jobs, you can weed borders. You don't have to have any tools to do that, and that would be enough. Some people do that, and that's their business, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's absolutely fine. You don't have to do everything. You don't have to cut hedges, or we're going further down the line, turf and deck and all that kind of thing. You don't have to do that. You can just cut grass. Start by cutting grass. So this equipment, if you are buying new, if you're buying the cheaper stuff, that isn't a commercial grade tool, you will be using these things every day, and they will only last up to a certain point. So if you're hammering them every day for 2-3 months, that's about the time where you might be wanting to you don't have to buy the best, but you improve and so on. And then, as I say, those can become your spares. And you're going to have to do that because these things will break. That sounds negative, but hopefully you will be hammering them every day on multiple jobs, and they will break. They're not designed to be used by professionals day in, day out for hours on end. But they're enough to get you started, and that's what this video is about. Second thing I'm going to talk about is transport. So I started off in a car. I've got my van now. I had a Picasso. I didn't buy that specifically for gardening. The seats came out the back, and it was really big. I was quite fortunate there, and I managed to get everything in. It was a case of cramming it all in. It wasn't particularly it wasn't great, but it was a bit, it did the job. It was a case of like, if something's right at the back, you got to take everything out to get to it. And yeah, I love my van. It's so much better. But you can start off in your car. There's absolutely no harm in that. And you know, I did sort of, when I was turning up to jobs in my car, I didn't particularly like it. I like to, you know, wanted to give off a good impression, and but your work will speak for itself though as well. You know, if you can do a good job, that's above everything else. That's key. No one's going to care how you turn up or what you use if you do a good job. And better tools arguably will make the job easier and quicker, not necessarily better. No one's going to care, and you can start off like that, just like I did. If you haven't got a car, there's a lad on YouTube, I can't remember his name, might be Mac Thomas, I'm not sure. He used to do it on his bike. He's you know, his pedal bike, and he had a trailer at the back and he used to get all his gear in, I think, and you can do it that way. Cheaper than buying a car, I suppose. And if you've just got your mower strimmer and a leaf blower and, you know, a couple of bits like a brush, you know, things like that, you can get them all in a little trailer at the back, and you can just do your area. You don't have to go for miles, you know. I don't think you could do it on foot. I think that would be a bit of a stretch too far, but you could certainly get a little trailer and go on a bike. Yeah, then you've obviously got your insurances and stuff. You know, with your car, your business insurance, it's always good to, you know, do things properly and the right way, especially if you're going to be in it for the long haul. As I say, you don't have to splash, you know, thousands of pounds in the beginning, but you know, things like your insurance, your public liability insurance is important as well, and you can do a Google on there. That's cheap. You can pay for that monthly, and you know, I'd strongly advise getting that. We now come to advertising. I got this business off the ground by Facebook and the Next Door Neighbour app, and at one point I was getting 50% of my inquiries from that Next Door Neighbour app. It was really good. Both free. I created my business page. The jobs that I did, I always took before and after pictures, and I put the best ones on there, and got as many people as I could to share it. And I started off in April, which is a good time to start. March, April, it's when people start to think about the gardens. If you have to start, you know, now, midsummer or even the winter, just do it. You know, if you're determined to make a success of it, you will. But obviously the best time, I think, is early spring. And yeah, it literally went from there. Now, I did get some leaflets printed from Vistaprint. I've still got the majority of them. I do hand a few out if I want to try and get a couple of more gardens in a particular street, but you don't have to do that. I would recommend getting some business cards. It's always handy. People do ask you for them, and I don't think it looks great if you say you haven't got them and you just have to kind of find a bit of scrap paper and put your number down on it. The business cards, I think, cost us about 20 quid, so like it's cheap as chips, and it's really worth doing. So yeah, you don't have to go crazy on advertising. I still don't pay for advertising currently. That may change in time. The vast majority of my stuff's word of mouth, and you know, that's the best referrals really, because people are happy with your work and they're telling their mates and, you know, recommending you. So that's great. Uniform, I didn't start out with the uniform. All this does is create a better image, a more professional looking business, and is good. You know, again, you don't have to spend fortunes. I've got this, like, say, embroidered and stuff. You can just buy like a green top, or, you know, whatever colour scheme you want. Doesn't have to be green. You know, and do it that way. You don't have to spend a lot. I think I spent about 80 quid. I got 5 polo shirts, 2 fleeces, a hat. I think that was it. Yeah, all embroidered. So again, not like crazy money, but you don't have to do that at the beginning. Just look smart. Turn up on time. Turn up when you're going to say. Do your best job, and you know, people will have your back. I honestly lose count of the times people tell me, that they try to get in touch with, like all contractors really, it's not necessarily gardeners, but obviously I do get told more about gardeners, that they're just so unreliable. And I don't know how people can be unreliable, you know, if they're trying to run a business properly. There's occasionally, I can probably count on one hand the amount of times that I couldn't turn up to do a job, and I've let them know well in advance and rearranged a date, because things happen. But I don't get just not turning up and not telling anyone, and that's not a way to run a business, you know, for the long term. And I don't get how people can do that, but there we are. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but you know, I try to stick to my word as much as I can, and I'm always polite, and you know, give them a little smile. Don't be miserable. All these tiny things make a massive difference. And you know, that doesn't cost any money, does it either? And you know, if you wanted to do, you know, if you're thinking outside the box, if you wanted to do some kind of promotions and things like through your Facebook page or something, you could you know, offer the chance to for someone to get a free grass cut or whatever you might want to do, or give a couple of hours of your time to someone's garden. And you know, you could do something really simple, just get as many people to share that as possible. Like your page, share the post, and you pick someone at random, and then they get the, you know, the free grass cut or whatever you're doing. And it's things like that. Just, it doesn't cost anything, and it gets people to, you know, share your business, which is the most important thing. So yeah, if you're thinking about doing it, if you haven't got loads of money to throw at it, you know, the best thing to do is just start, honestly. You know, if you want to ask me any questions, that's fine. I'm more than happy to help you. But honestly, the best thing to do is just start. Don't worry, you will get customers if you, as I say, if you're serious about it, if you stick at it, you do a good job, you're trustworthy, you know, you're polite, you will get work, I promise you. It's always hard when you start out. It's a little bit worrying. You know, it's obviously you need the money to be coming in, and you never can be sure, can you, before you make that leap. And I was exactly the same, but I just thought I'd go for it. So experience wise, I had done friends and family for quite a while before that, and I've just kind of picked things up along the way. There's still so much more that I need to learn, and you know, I'm learning all the time. So best of luck to you if you're thinking about taking that leap. And don't forget, say hello, ask us anything you want, and hopefully you'll be subscribing to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Alright, cheers guys, bye.